Hey everyone, thanks for stopping back in. Well, it's about that time again. It's the September update for Rico's Nano Challenge of 2018. I did do a couple different things this month. One thing I did do was try raising the nutrients in a tank. And you're probably wondering why. Well, I'll tell you why in just a little bit. First, let's take a look at some of these corals. The one thing is I've noticed has done pretty well is the blasto. And it was about the size of a dime when I got it. It's about the size of a quarter now, and you can see a bunch of little baby heads skirting around the entire head of the blasto. Actually deepened in color too. It's a really nice teal with gray. The Pavona is doing really well, and actually you can see how it has a lot more ridges now and encrusting almost the entire plug. The Gorgonian, it was about exactly 1 inch when I got it. I know I talk about it a lot from my other videos, but I think Gorgonians are definitely underrated as far as corals go, and the growth has been very well with this. I do feed live phytoplankton every day, so I do think that that has a lot to do with it. What I did now is I tried raising the nutrients. Reason why is that this is a mixed reef tank, and a mixed reef tank is pretty much like a room full of people. No matter what you do, you're not going to make everyone happy. And the zoas are my problem child. In plain English, they are. Everything's doing great. The growth is great. The acros started to grow. I noticed it when I did start raising nutrients a little bit in the tank. And started doing the Ken essential elements. You can see the tip of the acro right there. You can see the light bluish purple. That all happened in pretty much like the last month, I would say. I'm pretty impressed with that. Is it because I did raise the nutrients in it? I don't know. It could be. The Ken essential elements that I started dosing a couple months ago? Could be. Could be just coincidental. My lepto is done pretty well. As you can see, when I first had it to what it is now, the skirting is pretty nice in it. But doing all this and raising the nutrients in the tank, I've ended up with an awesome algae outbreak, which I definitely wasn't happy about. I kind of know that I kind of expected it a little bit, honestly, but I kind of was seeing if maybe I can still make the zoas happy. Didn't work. They're still miserable. So what I ended up doing was I resorted back to my old ways. I started doing a pretty much 75% water change when I lowered it to 50%. And I put the ChemiPure back in to help with the nitrates and the phosphates. We all know that zero nitrates and phosphates in a tank, as far as reef tanks go, are not good. But on the low side, great for an SPS tank and everything like that. Zoas kind of, and leathers obviously tolerate a little higher range and seem a little happier. Depending on the species of zoa too. Zoas all have their own unique personalities, and some of them like higher light, some of them like lower light, some of them do very well in cleaner water, some of them seem to like a little dirtier water. So the ones I had, I'm pretty accustomed to from having them in my main display, and I'm kind of surprised they're not really working out the way I thought. The Hippogaro Light, it's still doing really well. As far as the screen top, I'm really glad I switched it over to from the stock screen using the BRS screen. The Grow Light, still doing really well for an Amazon Light, as cheap as it was. Auto Top Off, whole different story. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. And I had to weigh this down. The plexiglass started curling up on the one side, so I started weighing it down with a couple of coasters. As far as dosing goes, I still only end up dosing 1 milliliter of alkalinity a night just before I go to bed to help with the pH. As far as calcium and magnesium go, everything's good with that, and I'm still just getting away with it by just doing water changes. Well, now let's switch to the blue lights, and let's talk a little bit about that ATO, shall we? The ATO that I have, it's one of those do-it-yourself kits. I ended up purchasing 2 of them. I used one on my main display tank, and I had this one on my 29-gallon for about a year before I actually, started this competition. Now, it was on there. It was fine. Everything's good for about the first month. And I'm watching TV, and once in a while, I notice my TV's turning off. Like, okay, it's pretty weird. Turn it back on again. Next thing you know, about a couple months later after that, it seems like every time my ATO went off, my TV turns off. So I'm like, this is really weird. I don't understand what the heck's going on. I'd watch Netflix or like a DVD player, a movie, and it wouldn't turn off. It'd be just fine. So I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Well, last week, my wife ended up calling me at work, telling me the TV's messed up. I'm like, okay, TV's messed up. So I come home and there's lines all throughout my TV. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. I mean, it's an 8-year-old TV. Could be the age, but did it have something to do with the ATO? How? I don't understand. I don't know if it's sending something down the line. I don't know what's going on. So, I look at my wife. I'm like, well, I guess that's about it for the TV. Guess we're going to have to get another one. She's like, yeah, I guess we're just going to have to get a bigger TV. And it was at that moment I realized, you know what? It's one of the reasons why I married this woman. Ideas like that. What man does not want a bigger TV? So I ended up going out to the store, and we had like a 47. I ended up going and buying a 55-inch TV, just, because I'm a guy, I guess. So I ended up getting it, and of course I got the 3-year warranty on it. Well, I switched some plugs around. I put that on a surge protector, a different one, and ended up plugging in my ATO directly into the wall. Ever since then, I have not had a problem. It never shut off my TV. I keep an eye on it and keep checking everything, but maybe it's a good thing I got the 3-year warranty on that TV. So hopefully everything goes well. So that's pretty much my story with the ATO. So it still works though, which is a great thing. So that about wraps it up, guys. So once again, thanks for stopping in and checking it out, and thanks for watching.